In this video, I'm going to be discussing, is Berkshire Hathaway a good stock to buy in 2020? And I'm going to be showing you some simple technical analysis strategies that I like to use while trading and investing in stocks. So if you're interested in that, please keep watching. Now, I would like to say I am not a financial advisor or professional stock trader or even investor. However, I have found success in the markets, so I want to share my opinions and experiences with you guys, which will hopefully inspire some of you to start researching stocks yourself. Now, before anything, I would really appreciate if you could smash the like button on this video, as it really helps me out with the YouTube algorithm. Also, subscribe to the channel and turn on those post notifications so you never miss an upload. Alright, so let's get right into this. So currently, Berkshire Hathaway is sitting at a $423 billion market cap. Their stock price is $174 a share, and they're down about 0.3% today, so really not much at all. However, let's go look at the technicals here so we can get a better idea of what's been going on in the past 2 months. So back on February 21st of 2020, we were sitting at pretty much an all-time high of around $226 a share. However, a lot of negative news came out with the illness that's going on right now that caused a lot of stocks to fall drastically in the matter of a month. So for example, we fell all the way down to $160 a share in less than 3 weeks for a total loss of about 30%, which is obviously pretty significant, especially when you're talking about such a high value market cap stock. So if you guys don't know what Berkshire Hathaway is, it's essentially a company that buys and sells other companies. So they own tons of companies, and it's ran by one of the most intelligent investors of our time, and that's Warren Buffett, right? A lot of this company's success has come from Warren Buffett's ability to tell whether a company is a good investment, pretty much, right? And since 1985, it's produced an average return of 17%, which pretty much beats out any other industrial average or index fund. So obviously, Warren Buffett and Berkshire Hathaway knows how to buy companies that are actually going to grow in the future. However, in the last 2 months, we did fall quite a bit. Currently, we are sitting at a loss of about 23% since the first major crash that we had back on February 20th that sent the stock's price from $228 a share all the way down to $160 a share, so about 30% loss. Since then, we have bounced back a bit, but not as significantly as some other stocks. For example, Netflix, Shopify, Tesla have all bounced back much more significantly than Berkshire Hathaway. But if you do think about it, it does make sense because Berkshire Hathaway is just a combination of a lot of other stocks. You can honestly think of it as an industrial average or an index fund within itself because it does invest and trade tons and tons of companies. So essentially their movement is determined by the stocks they hold and invest and trade, right? That's not to say that you couldn't have made pretty good gains in the last month or so. As you can see here, it broke above the moving average all the way from $160 a share, and it peaked at around $200 a share for a total gain of around 25% in a very short period of time. So if you were trading and you saw that bounce above the moving average with a MACD cross, then that was a sign to buy. Unfortunately, there was significant resistance around the $200 to $215 range, so we did not get above or close above those points, which sent the stock below the moving average once again, and currently it's really not looking too good because we did see a MACD cross with a moving average cross back on May 1st, and since then we haven't traded above the moving average, and it does look like the stock could fall once again to around $160 a share. There is some pretty strong support around that range, but if the rest of the market continues falling, it really won't take much to blow past that support level and start reaching new lows. Hopefully that does not happen, but I do just want to point that out because if we're looking at if this stock is a good buy for 2020, you want to make sure that you're actually getting in at logical time and the best possible time to maximize the profits within your portfolio. Warren Buffett recently reported that he lost $50 billion in just this short period of time. $50 billion. Okay, that's insane, right? And that just shows how insane this crash has been. And people think it's over, right? Just because some stocks are doing well in the short term, there is still pretty significant resistance, and there's not too many stocks that have actually rose above their past all-time highs and closed above them. And if you guys don't know what this line is or what MACD is, it's essentially just an indicator that averages out the price for a certain period of time. For example, this is an exponential moving average, which is what I like to use, and I use it on 9. So So right now we're trading daily candles. So it's taking the average price from the last 9 days and averaging out onto this line. And you can use moving averages to determine if a stock is in a downtrend or a bull trend. For example, if it crosses, that's a good sign that we're going into a bull trend. However, you can't just use moving average by itself. It's best to combine it with MACD, which is essentially just a divergence indicator that tells you when to buy and when to sell a stock. So when this blue line crossed the orange line, that was a sign that we should get into the markets. And that was also paired with a moving average cross. So if you got in there, you were in for about 10% gains. So pretty good. However, just because it crosses the moving average with a MACD cross does not mean it's going to go into a massive bull market, because of course there's going to be a bounce, especially with all that volume going down, right? There's going to be a bounce at some point which could send it over the moving average, but you need to wait and see if that's actually a real confirmation. So for example, even if it bounced above the moving average here, I wouldn't say to invest or even trade that, because I would like to see confirmation of it getting over these levels around $200 a share. So if we closed above that and then started moving sideways for a little bit and then started moving up from there and crossed above the moving average of the MACD, that would be very bullish in my mind, right? As you can see, sometimes there's false indications, which is why you can't solely rely on technical analysis or a certain indicator. So it's best to combine a combination of indicators and patterns. That way you can be sure that you're getting in at the best possible price. Now let's say you're an investor and don't really care about trading in the short term, and you want to see the overall trend or the overall market we're in. And a really good way you can do that is by using moving average. However, this time you're going to increase the length of the moving average. That way it's a better indication of the overall market. So let's say we up the moving average to 150 instead of 9 like we were just using. And this is going to give us a better look at actually what's going on. So as you can see, it's not looking too good, because on February 26th, it shot way down below the moving average. We are in a downtrend. And yes, you can make money in a downtrend if you're trading or even investing, because you can get in at a lower price, which is great. But we don't know how long we're going to be in this downtrend, because as you can see, we were in a bull trend for quite a while. Pretty much since 2016, we crossed above the moving average and didn't cross below it all the way to 2018. So obviously this is a pretty good indication of what the overall market is doing. And it's not looking great because we haven't crossed below the moving average this significantly since the 2008 recession and stock market crash. So that's the technicals, right? And hopefully it gives you a better idea of how to use indicators to determine if it's a good buying time or selling time. But you have to remember, if you're trading, you most likely care more about the short-term trends rather than the long-term trends that we can see by using the 150 moving average, right? Or the 200 moving average, whatever you're using. So if you want to look at the more short-term trends, use moving averages like 9 or 10 or 20 that are going to show you the average price in a shorter period of time. Personally, I am more of a trader unless I really believe in a company. So right now, I really care about the short-term trends. Now we're going to have a quick look at Berkshire Hathaway's balance sheet and financials, because before you invest, you really want to make sure you understand the company's leadership, products, balance sheet, and overall financials. Berkshire Hathaway has definitely had an amazing run. As you can see, back in 2016, they had about $215 billion in revenue and $24 billion in profit, so not too bad. And then in 2019, they had $256 billion in revenue and $81 billion in profit. So they didn't increase their revenue all that much, but their profits absolutely skyrocketed. And as we know, it's really important that a company is actually able to turn over a profit before I put my money in it for the long term. Now, the quarter 4 earnings report of 2019 wasn't very good. They missed their targets by $897 on the earnings per share. So already going into this stock market crash, it wasn't looking so great for the company. And the quarter 1 earnings report of 2020 has not came out yet, but that will be interesting to see how the market reacts to that. And honestly, I am expecting to see an overreaction by investors and traders, whether it's good news or bad news. So if it's bad news, I really think it's going to affect the stock negatively very quickly. And if it's good news, I think the stock could absolutely soar in price and hopefully close above those major resistance levels. Now, looking at Berkshire Hathaway's assets and liabilities, which again is very important to understand, they have total assets of $817 billion and liabilities of only $389 billion. billion. So they're not going out of business anytime soon, which is good to see, as that's a pretty good ratio, not the best we've ever seen, right? But since they own so many different types of companies, they're not in one specific category. That makes sense, as different categories in different industries have different types of operating costs and profit margins, right? So overall, I think Berkshire Hathaway's financials look good. I am worried about the upcoming earnings report, which could cause even more volatility in the stock. But year after year, it's still increasing its revenue and profit, which is a really good sign, and its assets and liabilities are very healthy. Now, do I think Berkshire Hathaway is a good stock to buy? Absolutely. But we're talking about, is it a good stock to buy this year? And that's hard to tell because nobody can predict the future markets. But using technicals at the current moment, I would say no, because in my opinion, we're more likely to drop further before we see significant growth and confirmation of a more bullish trend. So right now, guys, I would just say be patient, right? Unless you are a trader and you know how to use technical analysis and patterns, and you can take advantage of the volatility in the markets right now, then of course you can go do that with Berkshire Hathaway. But if you want to invest for the long term and just want to make sure you're getting in at a time that makes sense, and not when we're about to fall more, then I would just say wait for confirmation of a bull market or trend. Now, if you guys would like to buy any stocks after you've done your own research, I recommend an app called Wealthsimple Trade that is completely commission-free stock trading, similar to Robinhood or Webull. But for Canadians out there, this is the only stock trading platform that allows you to buy and sell thousands of stocks and ETFs completely commission-free. Unlike platforms like Qtrade or Questrade that charges commissions on each trade you make, this way you're maximizing your profits as an investor and trader, as it's really important that we minimize as many fees as possible while trading or investing in a stock. Now, if you're in the USA, you already have access to platforms like this, but I do recommend you trying this out because it's a really simple to use platform that you can buy and sell pretty much any stock out there. So if you would like to sign up, there is a link below, and if you use my link, we will both receive $5 for free when you deposit your first $100. So it's a win-win scenario, and it really helps us support this YouTube channel. So thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, please smash the like button. Also subscribe to the channel and turn on those post notifications so you never miss an upload. Additionally, you can follow my Instagram at JacksonSummers111. I post all types of motivational and interesting content there, and you'll be alerted anytime a new video comes out. So thanks again for watching. Have a great day.